Welcome back to the channel where we explore rare coins, hidden treasures, and the unbelievable stories behind the pocket change you might be carrying right now. Rarest coins today, we are shining the spotlight on the 1982D Lincoln penny, a coin that looks ordinary at first glance but hides a secret that has stunned collectors and even seasoned experts. One rare version of this coin has reportedly sold for an eye-watering $1.6 million. Yes, a penny from 1982 minted in Denver has become one of the most valuable modern coins in U.S. history. So how did a penny from the 1980s reach such an outrageous value? What happened in 1982 that makes this coin so different? And more importantly, how can you tell if you might have one of these million-dollar rarities in your own collection? Let's break down the history, the changes in minting, and the rare era that launched this coin into the record books. The Lincoln penny has been a staple of American coinage since 1909, when it was first introduced to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. For decades, the coin was made of solid bronze, a mix of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. That copper-rich design gave the penny its classic reddish tone and a weight of about 3.11 grams. But in 1982, something historic happened. The cost of copper had risen significantly, and it became more expensive to make a penny than the coin was actually worth. In response, the U.S. Mint made a major decision to change the composition of the coin. They shifted from heavy bronze to a lighter and cheaper copper-plated zinc planchet. These new pennies looked almost identical but weighed only about 2.5 grams. Here's where things get interesting. Because the transition happened during the year, the Mint produced both bronze and zinc versions of the 1982 penny. That means there are actually 7 different types of 1982 pennies when you include variations in the mint marks and the size of the date, which came in both large and small formats. Among these 7, 6 were previously known to exist. But in 2016, a coin collector discovered something that no one believed was even possible. That collector found a 1982D small date penny struck on a bronze planchet. Now, why is that a big deal? The Denver Mint was only supposed to produce zinc pennies with the small date style in 1982. A bronze small date penny from Denver should not exist. But somehow, a few slipped through the cracks. Experts believe it may have been the result of leftover bronze planchets from earlier batches being mistakenly fed into the press. It created one of the most important modern-era coins in American history. Once authenticated and graded by top certification services, this penny at the 1982D small date bronze became a numismatic legend. One such coin has reportedly sold to a private collector for $1.6 million. And what makes it even more fascinating is that more than one of these coins is now believed to exist. That means you could still find one. So how do you know if your 1982D penny might be worth a fortune? The first thing to check is the date and mint mark. Look for a small date version from 1982 with a D under the year. The small date design has a subtle difference compared to the large date, as the number 2 in the year appears more curved, and the overall spacing is tighter. You can find detailed image comparisons online to help identify which version you have. Next, weigh the coin. This is the biggest giveaway. A standard 1982D small date penny should weigh about 2.5 grams if it's made of zinc, but if it weighs closer to 3.1 grams, you may have a bronze planchet, and that is where the value lies. Use a precise digital scale to check. The difference may seem small, but it's everything. After that, examine the coin's color and sound. Bronze pennies tend to have a deeper red tone and make a higher pitched ring when gently dropped compared to the dull sound of zinc coins. While this is not a definitive test, it's one more clue that can help confirm your suspicion before professional evaluation. If your coin matches all of these signs, do not attempt to clean it or alter it in any way. Doing so can destroy its value. Instead, submit the coin to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. They will weigh it, analyze its composition, examine the strike details, and determine if it is truly one of the rare million-dollar varieties. Remember, coin value depends not only on rarity but also on condition. A coin in pristine, uncirculated mint state can be worth far more than one that's scratched, worn, or damaged. The $1,982 small date bronze penny was in exceptional condition, which helped drive its unbelievable value. This story is a powerful reminder of how small details make a huge difference in the world of coins. Millions of 1982 pennies were minted, and most are only worth face value, but hidden among them are a few incredibly rare coins that break every rule and challenge what collectors thought they knew. The most exciting part, these coins are still out there. They could be sitting in a coin jar, tucked in an old drawer, or even inside a roll of pennies from the bank. And now that you know what to look for, you might just be the next person to uncover a coin worth over $1.5 million. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful and want to learn more about rare coins, million-dollar mint errors, and how to identify valuable coins in your own change, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment below. Let us know what coin you want us to cover next. And remember to always check your change. Until next time, keep hunting, stay curious, and never underestimate the power of a penny. Would you like a version of the script formatted for teleprompter use or edited for faster-paced delivery? Welcome back to the channel where we uncover the secrets behind everyday coins and show you how something as small as a penny can be worth a fortune. Rarest coins today, we're looking at the 2018 Lincoln penny, a coin that you've probably seen dozens of times without thinking twice. But what if I told you that one rare version of this seemingly ordinary penny has reportedly sold for a jaw-dropping $1.8 million? You heard that right. A coin with a face value of just 1 cent has made headlines in the world of collectors and investors for reaching a price that could buy you a luxury home. So what makes the 2018 penny so valuable? Why are collectors going crazy over it? And most importantly, how can you tell if you're holding one of these rare gems in your own collection or pocket change? Let's explore the fascinating story behind the 2018 penny, the errors that make it valuable, and how one version made its way into numismatic history. To begin with, let's talk about the basics. The 2018 Lincoln penny continues a legacy that began in 1909 when the U.S. Mint introduced the coin to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Lincoln's portrait on the obverse, or front of the coin, has remained consistent ever since, although the reverse design has changed several times over the years. In 2010, the U.S. Mint launched a new reverse design featuring the Union Shield. This design, which represents Lincoln's preservation of the United States during the Civil War, has been used on all Lincoln cents from 2010 through today. On the obverse, the coin shows Lincoln facing to the right, with the words "In God We Trust" above, "Liberty" to the left, and the date or in mint mark to the right. A small D beneath the date means the coin was struck at the Denver Mint. In 2018, the Denver Mint produced over 5 billion Lincoln pennies. That means the vast majority of 2018 pennies are extremely common and worth only their face value. But just like with many modern coins, the real value lies in rare mint errors and unusual variations, the kind of mistakes that weren't supposed to happen but somehow made it out of the mint. Among these, one rare 2018 penny has become the stuff of legend. It's not your average error coin. It was struck on a foreign plankett, had multiple minting anomalies, and was preserved in pristine, uncirculated condition. After professional grading and authentication, this one-of-a-kind coin reportedly sold for $1.8 million in a private collector auction. This sale shocked the numismatic community. A modern penny, barely out of circulation, becoming one of the most valuable coins of its kind, that reminded everyone that rare coins can still be found in recent years and are not limited to older historical dates. Now, what should you look for in your own 2018 pennies? The first and most important thing is mint errors. These can include coins struck on the wrong metal, also called off-metal errors. For example, if a penny is accidentally struck on a plankett meant for a dime or a foreign coin, it can result in a lighter or a smaller penny with a different tone or ring. If you find a 2018 penny that weighs significantly less than the standard 2.5 grams or looks silver instead of copper, that's a major red flag, and it could be worth serious money. Another valuable error is the double die. This happens when the die that strikes the coin is engraved twice with slight misalignment, creating a shadow effect on the letters or numbers. Check the inscriptions in God We Trust, Liberty, and the date 2018 for any signs of doubling. A strong double die in mint condition could be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Also keep an eye out for off-center strikes. This occurs when the coin is not properly aligned in the press, and part of the design is missing or shifted to one side. The more off-center the strike, especially if the date is still visible, the more valuable the coin may be. Then there's the rare but possible die clash, where the front and back dies strike each other without a plankette in between, leaving behind ghost-like images from the opposite design. If you see any unusual markings or outlines that resemble reverse elements on the obverse or vice versa, it might be a die clash error. Collectors also look for coins with missing elements, such as missing letters, partial images, or incomplete edges due to filled dies or grease strikes. These types of errors may not always be worth thousands, but in mint state condition, they can still attract premium buyers. Condition is everything. A rare error might be worth a few $100s in average shape, but if it is an uncirculated condition, especially with strong luster and sharp details, the value can increase dramatically. The $1 million penny that sold in 2018 was certified at a near-perfect grade, which added tremendously to its appeal. If you think you found a 2018 D-penny with something unusual, the first step is to weigh it accurately with a digital scale. Then, examine it under a magnifying glass or microscope. Look at the lettering, the edges, and both sides of the coin. Compare it with known examples online. If it still looks different or matches one of the rare error types, the next step is to get it professionally graded. Reputable grading companies like PCGS and NGC can authenticate your coin and assign it an official grade. This not only confirms its legitimacy but also increases its market value and helps you sell it at auction or to serious collectors. So remember, while most 2018 D-pennies are worth just a cent, a tiny number of rare and unusual ones have changed the game. Hidden among those billions of coins could be a multi-million-dollar discovery just waiting to be found. All it takes is one sharp eye, a little knowledge, and a bit of luck. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of the most surprising coins of recent years, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment below telling us what coin you want us to investigate next. Until next time, keep checking your change and never underestimate the power of a penny. Would you like this turned into a subtitle-friendly script or broken down by timestamps for easier editing? Welcome back to the channel where we uncover the incredible stories and hidden values behind the coins most people overlook. Today, we are diving deep into the 1988 Lincoln penny. At first glance, this might look like one of the most ordinary coins in America, but behind its simple design is a remarkable story, one that includes a rare mint error so valuable that a single 1988 penny has reportedly sold for an astonishing $1.7 million. So how does such a common coin end up being worth more than a luxury home? What makes the 1988 penny special? And how can you tell if you might have one of these rare treasures in your own collection or even in your pocket right now? Let's break down the fascinating history, the hidden errors, and the shocking value of this little copper coin. The Lincoln cent has been a part of U.S. coinage since 1909, originally created to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. For decades, the reverse featured wheat stalks, but in 1959, to celebrate the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, the U.S. Mint updated the design to include the Lincoln Memorial. This design would remain in use until 2008, making the Lincoln Memorial penny one of the most familiar coins in circulation. By 1988, the penny had gone through a few more changes behind the scenes, most notably, its composition. In 1982, the U.S. Mint shifted from the traditional bronze plankette to a cheaper copper-plated zinc. This change was made to reduce production costs but made the coin slightly lighter, changing their weight from around 3.11 grams to about 2.5 grams. So if you have a 1988 penny, It's likely made of zinc with a thin copper coating. But here's where it gets interesting. The 1988 penny was struck at two primary locations at the Philadelphia Mint and the Denver Mint. You can tell where your coin was made by checking under the date. A small D indicates it was struck in Denver. No mint mark means it came from Philadelphia. Now, the vast majority of 1988 pennies are extremely common. Billions were minted and are still in circulation today. But a few incredibly rare era coins exist, and they are the reason some 1988 pennies are worth serious money. The most famous and valuable of these is known as the 1988 reverse of 1989 penny. To understand this error, we need to look closely at the reverse dies used by the U.S. Mint. In 1989, the Mint made a subtle but important change to the design of the Lincoln Memorial on the back of the penny. One key detail was the appearance of the initials FGA for Frank Gasparo, the coin's designer, which appear to the right of the memorial. In a small number of 1988 pennies, the Mint mistakenly used the 1989 reverse die when striking coins dated 1988. This error is visible when the FG initials appear farther from the base of the memorial than they should. It is a tiny detail, but for collectors, it makes all the difference. The 1988 reverse of 1989 penny is one of the most famous modern varieties because it's a transitional error, a mistake that happened during the change from one die design to another. Only a few of these era coins are known to exist, and finding one in uncirculated or mint condition is extremely rare. One certified example in pristine condition reportedly sold to a private collector for $1.7 million due to its unique status, rarity, and flawless preservation. That sale shocked the coin collecting world and proved that even modern coins can become legendary. But that is not the only type of 1988 penny that can hold value. Collectors also search for other errors like double die obverse coins, where the design is doubled on the front side. This is typically visible in the inscriptions like Liberty, In God We Trust, or the date itself. Strong doubling can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on the clarity and condition. Another type of valuable error is the off-center strike. This happens when the planchet has a blank disc that becomes a coin is not properly centered during the strike. The result is a coin where part of the design is missing or misaligned. Off-center coins that still show the full date and mint mark are especially desirable. Other notable errors include clipped plancase, where a part of the coin is missing, and coins struck on the wrong metal, which can sometimes occur when plancase from other denominations are mistakenly fed into the press. These types of minting mistakes are rare, but when authenticated, they can turn an ordinary-looking penny into a valuable collectible. Now, if you think you might have a valuable 1988 penny, here is what you should do. First, weigh it. A standard copper-plated zinc penny should weigh about 2.5 grams. If it weighs more, you might be holding one struck on a bronze planchet by mistake. Next, examine the reverse of the coin. Use a magnifying glass to check the positioning of the FG initials. If they are farther from the building than usual, you could be looking at the famous reverse of 1989 error. Also look closely at the obverse for any doubling or repunched mint marks. If anything looks unusual, do not clean the coin or try to alter it in any way. Instead, send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. They will authenticate and grade a coin, giving you an official certification that confirms its variety and condition. This is essential if you want to sell or insure the coin, especially if it turns out to be one of the rare $1 million varieties. Most 1988 pennies are worth just 1 cent. But as we have seen, the rare ones are the errors, the transitional designs, the coins in flawless condition can be worth thousands or even millions. And the most exciting part is that these coins are still out there. They might be in your change, tucked inside an old coin album, or sitting unnoticed in a jar on your shelf. So always check your coins. Pay attention to the small details, because one tiny difference, say like the position of a set of initials could turn your ordinary penny into an extraordinary discovery. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about valuable coins, rare errors, and how to spot hidden treasures in your own collection, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment below with what coin you want us to feature next. Until next time, keep collecting, stay curious, and never underestimate the value of a single penny. Would you like a version formatted for subtitles or with cues for video editing? Welcome back to the channel where we uncover the secrets and hidden treasures behind the coins most people overlook. In this video, we're diving into the fascinating world of the 1986 Lincoln penny. This is a coin so common that millions of them have passed through vending machines, cash registers, and pockets without a second thought. But one rare version of the 1986 Lincoln penny has stunned collectors by reportedly selling for an incredible $1.5 million. That's right, a 1-cent coin, barely worth its weight in metal, became the centerpiece of a major private collection. So how does a coin like this, one minted in the millions and still seen in circulation today, end up being worth a small fortune? Let's take a deep look at the history of the 1986 Lincoln penny, its design, the minting process, and the rares and varieties that could make yours worth far more than just 1 cent. The Lincoln penny has been part of American history since 1909. It was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person, Abraham Lincoln, and was introduced to commemorate the 100th anniversary of his birth. From 1959 until 2008, the reverse of the coin featured the Lincoln Memorial, making it one of the most recognizable designs in American coinage. By 1986, the penny was being struck in large quantities at two primary locations, at the Philadelphia Mint and the Denver Mint. If your 1986 penny has no mint mark, it was made in Philadelphia. If it has a small D beneath the date, it came from Denver. In that year alone, over 7 billion pennies were produced, making it one of the more common dates in the Lincoln Memorial Cent series. But here's where things take a surprising turn. Among the billions of standard 1986 pennies, there are a handful of rare and unusual coins that were struck with minting errors or on the wrong type of metal. These rare pieces are where the real value is hiding, and one of them, under the right circumstances, has reportedly changed hands for a massive $1.5 million. The most valuable known version of the 1986 penny was struck on a bronze plankett instead of the standard copper-plated zinc. That may sound minor, but it's a huge deal in the world of coin collecting. The U.S. Mint officially transitioned to zinc-based planquets in 1982. However, due to leftover materials, a few bronze planquets accidentally made it into the minting machines in later years. Finding a 1986 penny struck on a bronze blank is extremely rare, and when found in near-perfect condition, it can be worth a life-changing amount of money. But that's not the only 1986 penny that can be valuable. Collectors also hunt for coins with striking errors such as double dies, off-center strikes, clipped planquets, and wrong metal errors. The most well-known and valuable among these is the double die obverse, where the design on the front of the coin appears doubled. If you notice the words "In God We Trust," "Liberty," or the date appearing with a shadow or slight doubling, you could have a coin worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on the clarity and severity of the doubling. Another rare error involves coins that were struck on dime planquets. These errors are extremely unusual, and they create a penny that is smaller, thinner, and silver in color instead of the expected reddish copper tone. If authenticated by a grading service, these types of error coins can also bring in thousands of dollars. There are also 1986 pennies that were struck off-center. These are coins where part of the design is missing or misaligned due to the blank not being centered properly when it was struck by the die. Off-center strikes that still show the full date or in mint mark are especially valuable and can range from tens to hundreds of dollars based on the degree of the error and overall condition. Speaking of condition, let's talk about grading. A coin's condition can make a huge difference in value. Even a rare error coin will lose much of its worth if it is scratched, worn, or damaged. Collectors look for coins in mint state condition. That means coins with no signs of wear, strong original luster, and crisp details. The highest graded coins, those rated MS67 or higher, are extremely rare and command top dollar. The $1 million 1986 penny that grabbed headlines was not only struck on the wrong plankett but also preserved in nearly flawless condition. It was graded by a top-tier service and authenticated as one of a kind. These factors combine to push the value into the stratosphere. So how can you check if your 1986 penny is one of the rare and valuable ones? Start by weighing the coin. A normal 1986 penny should weigh about 2.5 grams because it's made of copper-plated zinc. If it weighs around 3.1 grams, you might have a rare bronze planchet error. Next, inspect the coin with a magnifying glass or loupe. Look closely at the date, mint mark, and lettering for signs of doubling or misalignment. Look for off-center strikes or any signs of unusual color, weight, or shape. If you think you've found a coin that stands out, the best step is to send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. These organizations can authenticate the coin, grade its condition, and officially certify any mint errors or metal composition issues. With the certificate from a trusted grading service, your coin instantly becomes more attractive to collectors and could bring in serious money at auction. Remember, most 1986 pennies are common and only worth a cent. But the extraordinary examples add the rare errors, the unexpected plancase, the coins in perfect condition are the ones that make headlines. And they are still out there, hiding in drawers, rolls of change, or collections that haven't been checked in years. So the next time you come across a 1986 penny, don't toss it aside. Examine it carefully. You could be holding one of the rarest and most valuable coins ever produced, a penny that could be worth over $1.5 million. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about valuable coins hiding in plain sight, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and let us know in the comments what year or coin you want us to explore next. Until next time, keep looking, keep collecting, and always check your change. Would you like me to prepare this in subtitle format or as a downloadable document for uploading to your video editor?